For those of you who don't know, this is an engine block. Now the main purpose of the engine block is to house the cylinders. Each cylinder has a piston liner. Now these cylinders house the piston. This is a piston and it would go in there. This is an oil filter. The name says it all. It filters the oil. These things here, they're metal. Here, this one here. This is called a core plug, or some people call it expansion plug. This here is the oil switch or oil pressure switch or sensor. It is the one that sends the signal to the dashboard or the odometer to tell you that your oil is low. We have more core plugs on this side here. These here are where you mount the alternator, the starter motor, the compressor. All the accessories that are to be mounted onto the engine block go onto these threads here. The top of the cylinder or the engine block, all of this is called a deck. On top of here is where the cylinder head will be sitting down on. Now as you'll see, the whole entire deck is very flat, and then you have these two. These are the return pipes where the oil will be passing through from the cylinder head back into here, and it comes out to where the sump is. On top of that deck, a head gasket or a gasket will be placed, and on top of the gasket the cylinder head will be placed on. This is a cylinder head, but that's for another video. This here is called a dipstick. It passes through here all the way into where the sump will be sitting. This will tell you how much oil you have in your sump or in the engine block. This is the underside of the engine block. These are where your main bearing sits, and then you have the crankshaft that's placed on here, and then you have the main bearing caps that go on top of it. This is where the thrust washer goes on. You have them on both sides here. These ones here with the threads, these holes with the threads, this is where the main bearing bolts sit, or where the main bearing bolts are placed. You use the main bearing to tighten the crankshaft. Under here sits the sump. The sump goes on here. It's attached to the engine block with silicone. It seals it off. As you can see, there's more return plugs. So the oil passes through these things here called the oil galleries. We saw them on the outside as well. They go through here, they go up into the cylinder head, they lubricate the camshaft, help them to turn, and then they come back and they return in these ones. These two. This side of the engine, this attaches to the gearbox. This side of the engine with the gasket. Over here you have the water pump that sits here, and then you have the oil pump that's placed over here. On the side of the engine block is the engine number. This is the number you will find on your registration papers. Remember, not all engine blocks may look the same, but they all have the same functions. This is about all I can share on the engine blocks today. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments and let me know which part of the vehicle you want me to do next. Thanks for watching.